Thanks for tuning in to Heavy Hound Interviews. This is Kirch with Will from Lord, Guitars and Lord. So Lord today released the Built Lord Tough album and the Badass EP and some other stuff from the original days of Lord, and make those available for everyone.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff, well, pretty much almost all of the stuff has been out of print for quite some time. So I have been in communication with Steven Sullivan, the band's original drummer, for pretty much since he left the band in 2014 about, getting that stuff released. And originally we were trying to do it as like a 10-year anniversary thing for 2015, but then he got busy with stuff, and by then Lord had, Skip and Chris had come into the band, and we had started working on a wig, so we kind of started working on our own projects, and it just kind of fell by the wayside like a lot of things usually do. But so it pretty much took 2 years on and off to finally get it off the ground and come to a decision on where everybody felt comfortable with how we were going to approach releasing that stuff. And we just figured we'll throw it up on Bandcamp, have it as a free download, so anybody who's interested in any of that stuff can actually get a hold of it. Like I said, most of the stuff had been out of print. We never really play it live anymore, being that the lineup is so different. I'm the only one who's from the original lineup that's still left in the band, so there's not a lot of, we've spent so much time away from that material now that we just want to have forward motion, so we're continuing to work on new material all the time. But at the same time, you don't want to abandon the people who helped you, help establish you as a band in the first place. So we figure we'll throw the old fans a bone, and it was a way for us to honor the legacy of what we've helped create and to honor the guys who helped do it. Like I said, Steven Sullivan, Andy Murray, and Rob Goldman, who are just as important to that legacy as I am. So.
Very cool. I'm stoked that they're available for everyone here. There's some definite classics on there for me. It's very cool. New album recording starts this fall.
Yep.
Sweet. And here in Stanton, Virginia tonight, playing a gig right up the street.
Yep. Yeah, we're playing Bricks. First time playing here.
Sweet.
So.
And on the way down here, I was listening to Stone Mouth Secrets.
Sweat and Cream.
Very good. Excellent. Beautiful piece of art.
Yes.
You were
very underrated band.
Recently in a documentary with one of the members of that band.
Yeah. We were lucky enough to be interviewed for the Metal Missionaries documentary that Bruce Moore is putting together has put together. It should be coming out actually pretty soon. It's basically documenting the extreme Christian metal scene, and he wanted to get some the opposing points of views, pro and con, and we had come into contact with him through our publicity person, and basically kind of threw us a bone to see if we were interested in taking part of this documentary. And everybody within the band has kind of their own viewpoints, and we kind of sit more in a neutral ground actually when it comes to that whole thing. But we, I know myself and Steve, our vocalist, are into a lot of the extreme Christian metal, like everything from Zeo to Believer to, a lot of that stuff is just, if you didn't know what they were singing about, you would swear it was blood and guts. So, it's whatever you take out of it. If you want to watch or get more in depth, you should watch the documentary. It's actually very well done. But yeah, Ben from Goat Whore, who was in Soylent Green, was interviewed in it, as well as members of Samael and tons of other bands. So I've seen the rough draft of it. I haven't seen the final version of it yet, but it's very cool, and it's actually narrated by a good friend of ours and a guy who's actually self-promoting here, who's going to be on my solo record, D from Iron Man. Good guy, great vocalist, and he actually narrates the entire documentary, so it's very cool.
Very cool. I saw the trailer. It looks awesome. I'm stoked to see the full thing.
Yeah, it was very well done. Very well done. I'm very stoked to have Lord be a part of that.
Very cool. Well, you can check Lord out at lordisbadass.bandcamp.com and facebook.com/lordisbadass.
Yep.
Thank you. And you recently started working on a second Absent Sky album?
I did. The first, I originally started working on the first album back in 2012. It was actually when Lord had split up the second time. We had just done the Chief record and a bunch of crap started happening, so we kind of decided to go our own way. And at the same time, a year before that, Old Scratch had fallen apart. So all my bands that I had been doing for quite some time had started kind of going by the wayside. So I had all this music. I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do this myself and not worry about having to play it live. So I just went all out, and it took 2 years to actually put it together. It came out in 2014, and that was the debut Absent Sky record. So it's been several years since then. Obviously, Lord pretty much takes up almost all of my time these days. We've been so busy, and that's great. I mean, I love that the band has really kind of done a 180 from where we were a couple years back, where we weren't really doing a whole lot. So I mean, to be in a position where you have to turn down shows is actually a good position to be in, as opposed to begging for them. So, but yeah, I mean, Lord got really busy, so the songwriting kind of went to the wayside, and then just recently I've just got a wild hair up my ass to start writing songs again, and decided I was going to go ahead and do a second Absent Sky record, with this one focusing more on a kind of American Gothic, outlaw country, Americana kind of vibe. Just having the songs be more stripped down to the root of what you're trying to get across, create more of a vibe. The lyrics are definitely darker than they were on the debut, which is saying a lot considering the contents of some of the stuff on the first one. But I figured I wanted to approach it in a different way than I did the first one. So this time around, I wanted to have, I'm fortunate enough to have a lot of talented friends, guys and girls who are talented musicians and are doing things in their own right, and were willing to collaborate with me on a lot of material that I had written, and I wanted them to contribute and put their own stamp on it. So for me, the second record is really about creating own worlds within each song. Each song stands on its own, but together it comes together and tells a story. And there's going to be a lot of really great guests on this record, and I just wanted to. It's actually been a collection of songs that has kind of been coming up for a few years now since the debut, and there's even some stuff that one of them was a remake of the bonus track that was on the first Lord album, Hellbound. We took that, revised it. Steve came to the studio and did the drums and the acoustic guitar and bass and everything. So it's got this completely different vibe than the original had. So it's going to be very different than what I think people are expecting, or it might not be. But it's something I feel like I had to do. A lot of the songs kind of came out in other projects that I've done, and they'll be represented on this record kind of the way they were originally intended. So some things may sound familiar to you, some things have been revised. There was some stuff that was supposed to come out on a project I was involved with Ashley Chevalier back in 2011, called Barren River. We recorded an EP of 6 songs that were just her doing vocals and some acoustic guitar and me playing guitar, and I really loved that material, but it never really came out. So by then her solo career had started taking off, and like I said, I got involved with other things, so it just kind of got lost in limbo. And so there was a couple things that I really enjoyed off of that really were important to me to have come out at some point in time, so I redid those. In order to not tarnish what she had done, I'd use different lyrics and kind of put my own vision on it. There's no way I can come close to what she did vocally on any of that stuff, or what she put into the lyrics was very much her sentiment, and the vibe that she created is just, it's haunting. And in order to not, there's no way I can do it justice, so I didn't try to recreate it. So for me, it was to approach it in a different way and have the music kind of stand on its own in a different vision. So it's I don't know. I think it's going to be very cool. I think some fans of Lord will probably dig it. Some fans of the original Absent Sky might like it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'm hoping to have that wrapped up by fall.
Awesome, brother. Well, I know you got to load in. Thank you so much for your time tonight. And I hope you have a killer show, dude.
Thank you.